But instead, what God does to teach this idea that child sacrifice is wrong from the very onset of Scripture is God clearly provides a substitutionary sacrifice. You do not have to kill your child. And God outlines the preciousness of human life throughout all of Scripture. And what you'll see is that throughout the whole story of the Bible, whenever people started veering away from God's law, child sacrifice started making its way back in. And whenever people clung to God's law, child sacrifice was seen for what it was, which is abhorrent and awful and detestable to the Lord. The last king of the southern kingdom to practice child sacrifice, it was...
the first king was Ahaz.
Yes.
The first king in Judah to offer child sacrifice. It's really considered the end of the line of rejection of God. So like once you start, you can do a whole lot of things, and they're bad. Mm-hmm. But once you sacrifice your child, I mean at that point in Ahaz's day, God just said, "I'm going to cut off my people."
Yeah, he did.
Like it's done.
It's the hard line in the sand. And you think today, really, when we discuss abortion, everyone always wants to go to these outlying cases of, well, what if it was this circumstance in this case with this way? But let's understand the vast majority of abortions, over 90%, when asked why they're seeking abortion, 90% of the time the answer was simply this: it is an inconvenient time. Either, I don't have as much money saved up as I want. I'm not in a steady relationship. Or, I just don't think I can handle being a parent.
Not in a steady relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But
what are you doing having a child?
Those are the answers. And so the concept is, this is not a good time. So you go back to that concept of sacrifice. It's this idea of, if I give up my child now, I might have a potential brighter future. I can have more children later on when it's more convenient. And it is, if you really boil it down, it is sacrificing your child on an altar.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting upset right now. I'm getting fired up because here is a sacrifice that you can consider. What about staying out of the bedroom? You know what I mean. Sacrifice that so that you can enjoy the blessings instead of the consequences of killing another life. What about that sacrifice?
That's what I'm saying. And you can also think of it like this. The Bible affirms good sacrifice. A parent sacrificing themselves for the sake of their child is a good thing. So, for instance, a father working double shifts because he wants to save enough money to send his kid to college, that's a worthwhile sacrifice. Immigrants that come to a new nation and start over from nothing to give their child a better chance, that is a worthy sacrifice. But when we get that backwards, and instead of sacrificing ourselves for others, laying down our lives for someone else, the picture and definition of love that Jesus gives, instead we fall into that trap of, I'm willing to sacrifice someone else for myself. That is, make no mistake about it, child sacrifice.
I am willing to sacrifice my child so that I can have a few minutes of pleasure. There's just no way to look at this issue and not come away completely disgusted. This is why those who are proponents of abortion must make the unborn child a fetus and not a